Hey guys, hope you're all having a good day today. Today I wanted to do something a little different, and I wanted to make a quick guide because in my free time I've been playing a lot of Hoi 4. Put about 100 hours in over the last like 2.5 weeks, so I've been mixing and matching a bunch of stuff, and I've been watching a ton of videos from guys like Feedback and those sort, Count Cristo, and I've learned a lot. And there's been a couple of things that I've had to kind of learn on my own, and then there's been a bit of mixing and matching that I've been doing with their strategies that I found to be great openers when you're playing as the German Reich. Now, starting with the Gathering Storm, the 36 date, regular and historical AI focuses. Play with historical AI focuses when you're first starting out, because then you know what to expect. So right off the bat, we join in and we have our research slots. Always start with the weapons from 1918. Everybody starts with that behind everybody. Electronic mechanical engineering under engineering, basic machine tools, and construction 1. Those are every time. And then what I usually do is I try to immediately get my infrastructure built up in these provinces, because these provinces, I think it's these 4, get free infrastructure through the Reichsautobahn national focus. And then we're going to be trying to build up our army quickly as possible. So you're going to want to pound out the infantry equipment, a little bit of support, but a lot of artillery. So I'll probably, I would say right about here, and then whenever you get a couple of militaries, it would be built up. You don't need to worry about fighters or any of those right off the bat, because we will get them. So generally, you're going to want to go Rhineland first. But for this strategy, I start with the 4-year plan. I go into the divisions and I get 20 of them training up right off the bat. And then that's all for that. So what I usually do is I get everybody into one army, separate the infantry by double clicking, get those separated. So now we have all of our specialty infantry. I usually switch them all over to panzers, put them under Erwin Rommel, of course. And then I'll split these guys, create another army, and I'll put this guy in a new theater. Put him over on the the Dutch border. And you could assign, you know, Erich von Manstein or Manstein, or I'm not really sure. I'm not good with the German pronunciations. And then we switch these guys one more time and put them on these borders. And so everybody will be sorted that way. Heinz Guderian. And usually what I'm looking for is people with the infantry officer tags. That way they can get better experience. So another thing that I usually do is I will get all of my navies and I will put them all together. Otherwise, I forget about them. So I'll go up to speed, combine them all, put them with a submarine attack, Karl Donitz. And then under my production, generally, I will make it so subs get made forever. Destroyers also get made forever. The heavy cruisers, I let them finish. And then I add convoys, because convoys are easy to forget about. You need the convoys. Okay, I didn't mean to do that. So let's have those. Yep. Okay, and then to get everything else sorted out, you can just trade with whoever. It doesn't really matter in the very beginning. Go with France, even though we're gonna kick their booty later. So then what I do is I let some time pass. And another thing that a lot of people forget about is commanders. Usually I do Walter Model or Model. I don't know how he pronounces it or how it's pronounced. And so I will put Rommel up here with a spearhead order, which is what is it, shift X, and I'll have him rush Danzig. And it's important to have your guys set up with plans. It doesn't really matter what the plans are, as long as they're plans. So they get the planning bonus, the preparation bonus. And so that's important. And so then I'll have this guy rush the Dutch, the Amsterdam. And yeah. And so then whenever these guys come out, I just kind of divvy them up accordingly. Usually I kind of focus more on the Polish front rather than the Dutch front, because otherwise you get a bit too many people over here and you need to like really rush this. And then another thing I do is I usually switch the executive execution to aggressive to really try to pound out the Polish. So the main plan here, and this is what I do pretty much every time I play as Germany, is I set up I attack the Dutch and the Polish at the same time, and that includes justification. And so that's the whole point of not doing the Rhineland, is you want to keep world tension down. Right now, I'm just walking in my political power, and I don't know the exact number, but I do know that it's somewhere in like the 140 range. So then I go autarky next to just get working on these civ factories. Oh, the Spanish Civil War. And now this is a choice, but generally I'll send a couple of people, usually infantry. I used to send tanks, but there's a lot of rough terrain down here, and tanks do not do well in rough terrain. So modify government. Okay, we're about 155. So about this time, I justify war goals. And so you'll see here, this one I got from, I think his name is Dylan27 something. I'm not sure. I'll link anybody's channel that I've gotten information from down, so you guys can check them out. I mean, I'm sure that they have a lot bigger following than I do, so thanks to them. And if I'm forgetting any names, I'm really sorry, but I'll make sure that I get anybody that I have gotten information from in the description. So you'll see here, this is 245 days to justify, while as Danzig or Posen, okay, I'm not really sure. It's not showing, but usually if you're justifying on two people at the same time, the second one takes a lot longer. So what I do is you go to Conquer and you take 3, and it brings it up to 345. So you do that, and then you justify on one of these, and it's 355. So you have both of them going. World tension is just below 20%, and you're waiting on those. And while you're waiting on those, you're Russian Madrid, and you're going to try to get nationalist Spain a couple of W's under their belts. That way they can win the Spanish Civil War, so later on you can align with them if you so desire to. I usually try to get this front set up first, and then I usually try to keep like 15 or so on the Dutch front, and you'll see that, and these guys will all get, so 17 right there, so then that's probably plenty for the Dutch front. And then we're gonna go this Hermann Göring Werke, or no, actually Reichsautobahn. And then after that's done, I usually try to smash down a couple of civs and a couple of millies, and then a couple more civs, and all of this stuff will be 10 infrastructure by the time that this stuff is done. And then the civs will help you build up the millies faster, and so on. It snowballs. And I'm not sure, did I have anything in Franken? I did not. Okay, well that's fine. So now for my first advisor, I usually go Silent Workhorse. Rudolf Hess is only temporary actually, so it's good to get him. And then we're going for the civ factories. Look at that, 6 free civ factories. That's quite a lot to have for free, so I'm always a big fan of those. Rush them. And like I said, we're not worrying about Rhineland, because Rhineland we will get for free. So you'll see here, I guess I could have explained that. Bypassed if you're not demilitarized. So if you go to war, you automatically militarize the Rhineland. And so as you can see over here, this is the Rhineland and Moselland. I think this specifically is Rhineland. Yep. And then this is Moselland, or I'm not good with German, I apologize. So they're not allowed in here. Military is not allowed in here. But as soon as we declare war, they rush down in, and maybe the Dutch will rush one of these provinces or whatever, but it's not a big deal. Normally here, I do usually switch over to superior firepower. I just feel like it's really good for the soft attack bonuses that you get. Soft attack is generally what you use to take down infantry, so it's good. And then another 6 civ factories here. So maybe a little bit of division attack would be helpful. And that'll help me with down here, as well as the invasion forces. So, and then another one that I'll usually take is under the chief of the army. I'll go Ludwig Beck. Oh, no, not Ludwig Beck. Where's he at? Franz Halder, who gives us another 10% attack. We have our next focus. I usually get the research slot, and then I go into army reform, I believe it's called. Army innovations, to get us a little bit of extra stuff. Plus it gives us the research slot. Ooh. Gives us a new not research slot, what's the word I'm looking for, the chief of army, but then this one, the treaty with the USSR, which down at the bottom you'll see bonus 50% research speed for armor, so helps us get our tanks faster. Very helpful. about 50 some more days, so we're doing well. And then we're gonna get our Chief of Army, Franz Halder, for division attack. Okay, so we're finished. So then we wait 10 more days until we finish our justification on Poland, and here we go. And so generally right here, I will save just in case. But another big one, this is one a lot of people forget. You want to patrol the Baltic and the Eastern North Sea. This being because the Dutch are sneaky little fuckers, and they will naval invade you. So you'll come over here and you'll see like Hamburg and Rostock are all naval invaded, and they'll spread towards Berlin while you're attacking their capital. They'll just give it up. So this is important. See, world tension is at 16%. If we declare on these guys, it'll put it up to 20. Within the same paused hour, declare on the Polish as well. That's important. This is very important. That will prevent anybody from getting guaranteed. Execute the orders. And let's put you under Gerd von Rundstedt. And let it roll out. Germany's at war again. Of course we are. See, naval invasion. But that's okay. We should take their capital before they do anything for us. And there we go. We have Danzig. Nationalist Spain, they have returned. So let's put you guys over here in this army. And once we take Rotterdam, they should capitulate, and that'll give us back all of our land over here. Assuming they haven't taken too many victory points. There we go. So normally I'll satellite the Dutch East Indies, pass a couple of turns, take all states. Oh, not enough passes. Take all states, and there we go. And then as soon as I do that, I put these guys over on this front, and I'll give them a spearhead order for Lwow, or however it's pronounced. I apologize for all my Polish friends. I'm not good at pronouncing non-English things. I have a dumb English tongue. So put all of our millies into weapons for now. I need to make sure that I am providing air superiority, something I always tend to forget. You can give them more ground crews for some command power. Army innovations is done. Bypass the Rhineland since we've demilitarized it ourselves, and go for the Anschluss. Generally around this time is when the Marco Polo bridge event occurs, and if that does happen, this is why I save, so you can save scum a bit if you need to, because sometimes after that event and Japan declares war, the Polish will ally themselves, join the Allies, and that is pretty damn annoying. So let's take Erwin Rommel here, and so that will kind of ruin it, because then you'll get attacked by the British, and you won't actually be able to, when these guys capitulate, that's all fine and dandy, but they won't be able to you won't be able to seize their land and core it. It will remain occupied until you finish the British. And Poland capitulated. So you come in here, take all states, and you get all these juicy milli factories. So look at that, 40. So we just picked up plenty. And generally, like I said, I'll throw them all into artillery. And at some point, I will try to, at the very least, make this a 20 combat width by adding a few artillery into the line. So you had 2 of them, and it makes it a 20 combat width. Only thing is that generally it takes a lot to reinforce already existing. So that will put us in the red. But we're not at war now. Now that we've capitulated all of these guys and taken their land, you can save that. Oh, also it's probably a good thing to have a recon as well as logistics. I'm a big fan of those 2 companies. It does bring up the manpower quite a bit. Very worth it though. Recon gives you extra movement speed, and logistics lowers supply use. So look at that. So that's almost you know, about a 7% decrease of supply. That's not nothing. Soft attack is good and all this stuff. The soft attack is the big one that's affected by the artillery. Okay, so that's my opening moves for the German Reich. Take the Dutch, and then they're very helpful for this. So see here, something that I always forget about is when you get trade with your puppets, they give you extra for the same amount of factories. 20 for 1 civ factory, and then 20 for 1 civ factory. So you can cancel all of your trades and it'll save you some civ factories. And that's the big reason why you want to make sure that you're taking the Dutch East Indies, because it is easy to forget, and so don't feel bad if you do that. I hope that helped everybody. If you have any feedback or anything like that, go ahead and leave it down in the comments below. I'm always open to comments. I know I haven't posted very much lately. College has been very chaotic. I'm into the clinic system at my school now, working with patients, and I'm very busy. I'm very scatterbrained, and when I do have free time, I tend to just kind of game on my own, or I spend time with friends, so I apologize for that. But the following moves would be: you finish the Anschluss, you annex Czechoslovakia via the events, the Demand the Sudetenland, First Vienna, and the Fate of Czechoslovakia. Then at that point, I'll usually reassert my eastern claims, bypass Danziger War, around the Maginot, and I will invade through Belgium, sweep through France. Sometimes, and if you're feeling froggy, you can do it. You can invade Italy rather than align with them, take all their civ factories, and I usually will puppet their African territories. But yeah, hope that helps, guys. Anyways, this is Chewy Shoot, and I'll catch you guys later.